apparently Masvidal's retired, right? But I have to word it that way. Masvidal's on Ariel Helwani's show right this second talking about retirement. So apparently Masvidal is retired. I have seen guys, and the reason I say this is Masvidal gave what we all interpreted to be a retirement speech on Saturday, but he never said I'm retired. He didn't even say something that's meaning equals the definition of retired, such as I'm done. I'm not coming back. This is the last time you'll see me. I'm not competing anymore. I'm moving on in life. None of those things were said. But the world came to the conclusion that he gave a retirement speech. I came to that same conclusion. The only reason I question it is retire. That word specifically, retire. That opens up and activates an entire clause of your contract that does not activate if that word isn't used. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal to say that word. As opposed to is taking a break, is going to reassess. None of those things activate a specific clause. So the word retires matter. And the UFC on social media through Twitter announced Jorge Masvidal has retired. And I'm looking around going, if all we're going off of is that interview, no, he didn't. And I even asked that, and I had a guy write to me. Wrote me on Twitter, called me a clown, told me I was a clown, and told me all sorts of people retire without actually using the word. Like who? How would you know? You were guessing? You're guessing what he meant? He's talked about Masvidal. The flying knee to Ben Askren changed his life. Is that true? Is that how you guys see it? But that flying knee was a big deal. It was a really big deal. Jumping up in the air and throwing a knee and having it land in 5 seconds wasn't what was impressive. It was your classic matchup of grappler versus striker. Your classic matchup, which from 1993 until present time is a one-sided, lopsided, proven massacre favoring the grappler. You then understand the fact that we're attempting to shine up this new, special, and undefeated trinket. And we're going to use you, a veteran, to do it. Not a great spot. Everybody ends up there. Sometimes you're doing the job, sometimes you're getting put over. It's just the way that it goes. And then you have the demeanor the entire week. I mean, that was my favorite part of it. The thing that I was most impressed with was George laying a rope-a-dope out all of press week. It started on Tuesday. Hands behind his back to signify peace. Hands behind the back signify I can be trusted. I'm going to do nothing. My hands are back. Everywhere he went from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the weigh-ins, Friday, ceremonial weigh, everything, he did that. He walked in the ring that way. When the cage door shut, he was that way. His hands behind his back, signifying trust and peace. When the referee said go, he looked away as though he didn't hear the referee say go, still signifying, I'm not a threat. And then turns, darts, changes elevation, jumps in the air, and puts him out cold. It was a huge deal. The knee was a huge deal. The knee got a lot of attention. The knee got broken off and put around the world. Is that his biggest thing? Maybe. I believe three-piece in a soda is more commonly known within our industry than the knee. I believe that, but I can't prove it. I believe the moment that George's life changed, because don't forget, he didn't get a whole bunch of money for that knee. But he did get the attention of a young man from Stockton named Nate Diaz, who is big enough and powerful enough in this sport to call his own shots, and he called for Masvidal. He called for East Coast versus West Coast gangster battle that they went and created a title over that was so effective that Madison Square Garden sold out. It was so effective that the leader of the free world showed up. It was so effective that the biggest star in all of Hollywood played a part, and that is the night where he made the whole bunch of money. So that was the moment where he's on everybody's radar. But as far as cashing in goes, he was never there had Diaz not called for him. Now, Diaz wanted to call for him had he not landed the knee. So possibly we need to give the credit to the knee, but still don't make believe that this is where all the money came from. All the money came on a short notice fight 8 days before bell time, 7 days before the weigh-in to fly to a different continent and take on Kamaru Usman. That's where the payday came. parlay that performance into another world title fight, and all of a sudden, things are looking very different. So it would be interesting. I just think it's an interesting question. If you were to ask Masvidal, what changed your life? I think he's going to look at what got him the most money, which was agreeing to take on Kamaru on short notice. That's the answer to that. But that wouldn't have happened without the spectacle that was the BMF, which never would have happened without him being called out by Nate Diaz, which never would have happened had he not landed the knee. So perhaps if we keep chasing it back, perhaps it is the knee. But growing the hair, the Versace robe, the whole persona, the whole bit, all of those things were little factors in changing the perception. Getting George a fresh coat of paint, making him look like somebody new, getting him a rebirth. Very hard to do, very rare. There's only a few things that have to go into that. I mean, anybody can go out and change their hair, right? Anybody can change their fashion, right? But very few people do it. Very, very few people would ever do that. And it can get you a fresh start. It can make people look at you differently. And Masvidal has been nothing but top of the bill since. Absolute must-see TV, main eventer, world title challenger. And if you were to trace all those things back, I suppose the jumping off point was the flying knee. But I would like to hear from you. Of all the George Masvidal moments that you had, that you appreciate, which one stands out the most?